Welcome to The Explainer. You know that feeling you've done everything you were supposed to do, checked all the right boxes, but when you actually stop and think about your career, the path forward is just a blur. So today we're going to dig into why that happens, and more importantly, how to find your way when it feels like the map you were handed is just plain wrong.
All right, let's just jump right into it. Because if this sounds familiar, and it doesn't matter if you're fresh out of school or deep into your career, I need you to hear this. You are not lost. You're using the wrong tools for the job. The map you were given, it's probably completely out of date.
And that stuck feeling, it is so common. The root of it really is how we're all taught to think about our own past, right? We're told to squeeze our entire experience into these neat little packages, resumes, job titles. But here's the thing, those tools were never built for us to actually discover ourselves.
I mean, just think about it for a second. A resume is built for one purpose, to let an employer sort you into a pile. It's not there to help you see your own potential outside of that box. So, yeah, your resume might say project manager, but what it totally misses is your superpower, that thing you're genuinely amazing at, like, say, being the person who can translate what the engineers are saying to the sales team and vice versa. A resume just can't capture that.
And this all points to an even bigger problem. The whole map for how a career is supposed to work, the one most of us got, it's broken. It's built on a bunch of old myths that honestly just don't hold up in the real world anymore.
You know the old story, right? Go to school, get your degree, find a job in that exact field, and then just climb that corporate ladder one rung at a time. But that's not how it works now. Not really. Today's reality is way more dynamic. It's all about flexible paths, about skills you can take with you anywhere, and honestly, it's about constantly exploring what's next. That's the new normal.
And hey, this isn't just a gut feeling. The numbers back it up. Get this, less than 30% of college grads end up working in a job that's directly tied to their major. Let that sink in for a second. So that whole idea that your degree sets your career in stone, for the vast majority of us, it's just a myth. So here's the takeaway. We have got to stop defining ourselves by job titles. I mean, what are they, really? They're just labels. They're shorthand that someone in an HR department came up with for their organizational chart. A job title says nothing about the kinds of problems you love to tackle or the skills you've actually become great at.
Okay, so if the old map is useless, what do we use instead? Well, we need a different kind of tool. Not a map, but an inner compass. And this compass isn't calibrated to job titles or what your degree says. No, it's calibrated to you, to your unique mix of skills, your actual interests, and the things you truly value.
And this whole approach just completely flips the script. Instead of scrolling endlessly through job postings, looking outward, you start by looking inward. You start asking some really basic but powerful questions, like what kind of work do you do where you totally lose track of time? Or what's something that feels easy for you but you see other people struggle with? That is where real clarity starts to happen.
Now, building this compass isn't about some magical quest to find the one perfect job. That's not the goal. The goal is to get a much clearer picture of what kind of work will actually fit your life. It's about looking at the whole shebang, the skills you use no matter what you're doing, the real-world stuff you have to deal with like location or income, all of it.
And what's so cool is that once you've got this compass, once it's pointing you in your true direction, you start to see things differently. Suddenly, all these opportunities, and I mean thousands of them, start to appear. Opportunities that are just completely invisible when you're stuck in that traditional keyword search mindset. And these paths, they're not some wild random career pivot. They're actually a super logical application of your core skills, just in a new place. I mean, think about it. An English major who's a master at breaking down complex information and understanding an audience, that person makes a fantastic product manager. Or what about a biology grad? They're trained in systems thinking, which is a perfect fit for a role in operations. See? It's always about the skill, not the label on your degree.
A lot of these jobs exist in what some people call the hidden job market. You're not going to see must-have X degree in the description. They tend to be in these fast-growing parts of companies where, frankly, the hiring managers care way more about whether you can actually solve their problems than what's printed on your diploma.
And here's the best part. Because these roles aren't the ones that get plastered all over college career fairs, they usually have way fewer people applying. Hiring managers are looking for skills first, period. And once you're in, there are often some really amazing paths for growth.
So, the difference between these two ways of looking for work is just, it's night and day.
A regular job board search, it just keeps feeding you the same old stuff, reinforcing what you already think you can do. It traps you. But when you switch to exploring with your skills first, you unlock this whole hidden world of possibilities you never even knew existed.
Which really brings us to the most important point of this whole conversation. That feeling of being uncertain, of not knowing what's next, that is not a sign that you've failed. Not at all. It's actually a signal. It's a sign that you are ready to throw out that old busted map and finally start exploring on your own terms.
Look, the goal here isn't to find some perfect final destination and then just stop. The real goal is to get better at navigating the journey itself. It's about realizing that your degree, that was just the starting line. It was never, ever meant to be a cage. Real clarity doesn't come from staring at the same old resume. It comes from asking brand new questions about what you've already done.
And if you're thinking, okay, this sounds great, but where do I even start? Well, there are actually new tools popping up that are designed to help with exactly this kind of thinking. For instance, something like ResumeRemixAI doesn't just scan for keywords. It actually analyzes your experience to find those hidden patterns we've been talking about, suggesting paths based on the skills you actually have. So, I'll leave you with this one last question to chew on. What if the most valuable, most fulfilling career path for you isn't something you're going to find on a job board? What if it's already there, hidden inside the things you've already done, just waiting for you to see it? The real question isn't what's next. It's what are you not seeing in what you've already done?